by no means least, I'd like to welcome Advisor Victoria Nelson and to introduce her graduates, Valerie Burgess, Marni Follett, Christine Lockery, and Eve Morton.
Valerie Burgess's Poems of the Dead is an end-of-the-world story uniquely and poetically told via video camera vlog and letters to her dead grandparents by its sole survivor, a 16-year-old girl named Sadie. Haunted by many, many ghosts from her violent past, Sadie is a new Robinson Crusoe, captaining her grandfather's boat, the Glory Bee, through the empty waters of Puget Sound, and squatting in an abandoned lighthouse stocked with provisions. What has killed off the human population? A moving mass of virulent flesh-eating bacteria called the red creep that has enveloped most of the world. But Sadie has survived not just the red creep, but catastrophic sexual abuse, a wound that continues to fester as inner and outer catastrophes resonate against each other. Sadie gradually learns through healing experiences caring first for animals and then for a young girl much like herself at the age of her abuse, that even pain has an end, and she has a life and a mission to fulfill in her shattered new world. Valerie has written a haunting, phantasmagoric, allegorical tale that sticks in a reader's gut as well as her imagination. Congratulations, Val.
Wow, it's really something to be up here looking at all of you. I never thought I did think I would make it, but part of me thought I never would. The Goddard process has been wonderful, and like summer, the first day I came, I was scared to death to come in here. I don't like to be in front of a bunch of people. I'd rather be in the shadows hiding. But everybody embraces you. I just remember thinking, wow, as soon as I started talking to other people, wow, these people are all like me. They think like me. Their minds are like me. And I'm not alone in my creativity or where my mind wants to go. They understand the big what-if question. Oftentimes my husband will ask me as we're driving, he'll say, what are you thinking? I said, I don't know, I saw this car over there and it was in a red, and I started thinking out this whole story. And all of you understand that, where the mind goes. I want to thank everybody here, all the friends that I've had, the friends that have come back to see us all graduate. This semester we graduated last time. Paul, you've done some wonderful things here. And my advisors, I had 4. I had Elena, I had Brian, Amy, and Victoria, and I just love them all. I want to thank my family especially, though, because they've been there supporting me. I love the days when my son would just come up from downstairs and he'd say, Mom, how's that book going? You know, it didn't matter how the book was going, just that he asked me that, like that. He showed he cared. My daughter would come over, how's that book going? And she'd sit there and listen to me describing this whole story. And my husband, who had so much patience and support, and he'd walk into my office as I was working, and he'd be so kind and sweet, and I'd say, I didn't even know the rule. What's that? Just 5 minutes, I know you're working. No, you just broke my concentration. And he'd still come over and pet my head. And he'd say, can I get you anything, honey? Can I get you a glass of water, something to eat? It's just such undying support. And the best support, where he would sit there and listen to me rant and rave sometimes, or be all excited about advisor's packet. I remember one time in Ryan, when I had Ryan second semester, got some glorious, wonderful statements from him, and then the next packet, it was the opposite. And I was like, I don't get it! What does he want from me? And my husband would just sit there and listen and give you that support. So these advisors, they're brilliant. Just pay attention to them. They know what they're doing. The good with the bad, it all comes together in the end to produce that thesis. I'd also like to thank mother, she's not here, but she always has that perpetual faith in me. She always told me I could do it. I know you can do it. And my father, for the longest time, I made excuses for my masters, the masters I was obtaining, the masters in fine arts. People say, what are you in school for? What are you going to keep your masters in? Oh, it's just creative writing. And I remember, I finally came to terms with that and said, you know, that's a big deal. And I remember my father turned my thoughts around that one day when I was talking to him, and I was saying, oh, it's nothing like my stepdaughter, Zan. She's getting a 4-year degree in nursing. She's got a 4.0. Now, she's really getting a degree. She's really working. And my father said, but you know, Val, to get a degree in something that's concrete facts, that's one thing. There's textbooks that teach her exactly what she needs to learn. He says, but to sit down on a blank piece of paper and to poke something out of the air, out of your mind, and create something out of nothing. Now that's something.
A moving memoir that is both stylistically and structurally highly accomplished, Marni Follett's Blind Spot chronicles a repeated cycle of leave-takings and returnings stretching over several generations from the writer's childhood through adulthood. As she puts it, traveling a circular path, somehow surprised when I'd stumbled yet again into the very same pothole in the road. Marni's skillful layering of flashbacks, the same experience obsessively repeated, serves beautifully to construct a sense of what she calls slipstream time. Quote, fast-forward footage of clouds and cars and people racing by, flowers unfurling and seasons changing, while on the inside I stood motionless, just as bewildered and stagnant and hopeless about life as I ever had. Center stage is the final and ultimately triumphant leave-taking that breaks the karmic cycle once and for all as she untethers from the Midwest 2 husbands and a mother. These bravura techniques place Blind Spot in a different ballgame altogether than simply a memoir of overcoming abusive relationships. The name of that ballgame is art. Congratulations.
Holly for ruining my makeup before I got a chance to get up here. And secondly, I want to thank my family who was not able to come with me. They've been there for me the whole way, and I couldn't have done it without them. And, oh my God, I'm already crying. All right, so I've had 3 years to think about this speech, and so virtually I've got nothing. I'm not very good at planning ahead, which is one thing actually Goddard has helped me with immensely, because you know we've got those 45 annotations to do, and lots of other work. So, and it felt like I had graduated something when I got that 45th annotation done. I nearly cried tears of joy then. Not to scare you G1s or anything. But I've actually been here for 3 years. I started 3 years ago, so I've been here as long as some of the buildings. And I took 5 semesters and an extension. And I remember my first opening meeting as a G1, and there was an advisor who stood up and said something very direct and blunt and to the point. And she didn't smile when she said it. She scared the hell out of me. And I thought, oh, that's not my advisor. And that was my advisor. That was B. Gates. And so what did I do? I signed up for a second semester with B. Because I learned from B some things about myself, and she held my nose to the grindstone. and she wrote in one of my evaluations that Marni just needs to learn. She needs to follow the curriculum. It's like, oh, okay. And she helped me explore, because I had no clue what I was doing. I knew what I wanted to write about. I had been planning this book for 11 years in my mind, but I had no idea where to begin. And so B helped me relax and be able to just, explore and, I think, quote unquote, go where the fire is, or go where the heat is, and write that. So I did, and essentially that was, going to where your passion is and following that, and which is what we all do when we come to Goddard. So after B, I was fortunate enough to get Amy Lou, who has been not only an advisor, but the best mentor I can imagine, and she's kind of synonymous with Goddard for me, because she's seen me through 2 semesters, my extension, and now as my second reader. And then I was fortunate to get Victoria, who helped me bring it into home, because when I began my last semester, I said, oh, I have no idea what the structure of this thing. I'm still lost. I'm a G5 with an extension, and I am lost. And she said, well, do you want to know what I see for the structure of your story? And I said, please, yes. And that's what I did, and it was amazing. And so I got through this, Paul says he has an uncanny gift at knowing who to put with the G1s, and, in hindsight, I think he's really right. And I had each person at the right time, and I finally have a manuscript. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone, staff and students. You've all been a surrogate family to me, and you can't have too many surrogate families. So thank you very much.